Manchester United is turning down the bid from Fulham for Scott McTOMINAY. Meanwhile, it is being reported that apparently Erik ten Hag is now seeming to be looking at signing another striker after the injury to Rasmus Højlund. Well, that's not the main topic. The main one is Scott. My name is Webb. Welcome to United Sport. Here is an afternoon update about the status at Manchester United, as the latest is that Fulham put in a £20 million bid for Scott McTOMINAY, which is expected to be rejected by Manchester United. And people feel like it's a confusion, and I'll talk about that in a bit. But first of all, in terms of the bid, this we expected. We've been talking about this because Fulham have been ready to make this bid after the signing of Emil Smith-Rowe. But there are certain sections of people who feel like this is disrespectful to Man United, given the fact that they could pay that huge amount, £27 million plus £7 million in add-ons for Emil Smith-Rowe, who barely kicked a ball for Arsenal. But feel that Scott McTOMINAY, who has even captained Manchester United in several games, scoring important goals for Manchester United, is way highly, more valuable than Emil Smith-Rowe, at least according to some. So there is that, comparison that is bringing, a bit of, skepticism about the spirit in which Fulham are bringing this bid. But the point is, I think, first of all, there are not so many people I know who will be hurt by the departure of Scott McTOMINAY. And what's surprising is that it seems Manchester United were okay keeping him because, of course, we know that he's a favorite for Erik ten Hag, but it's the player who wants to leave to get more playing time. But remember, this same Manchester United rejected a £30 million bid from West Ham in the last summer for Scott McTOMINAY. Right now, Scott McTOMINAY is a player with 1 year left on his contract. His contract runs out in June 2025. That's in the summer, at the end of next summer. Now, the reality, in all fairness, really, is Scott McTOMINAY the kind of player a club will not wait for his contract to run out and get them for free? Is he that hot a player that that Fulham will say, you know what, it's like the way it was with Lenny Yoro. His contract was running out at the same time as Scott McTominay's next year in the summer with Lille. But United said, we are not waiting. We are paying the £42 million or whatever amount we are paying for the add-ons. We are paying for you because you're a hot player. Do we feel the same about Scott McTominay? Is he the kind of player Fulham would say, you know what, we are not waiting for your contract to run out. We are paying £30 million plus, because Man United's expectation is their valuation of Scott is more than £30 million. Now, it's a tricky situation with Scott. And I get a feeling, depending again on how West Ham approach it and how desperate they are to sign Scott, it might drag. It might drag a bit, because £20 million really for Scott McTominay, maybe it's a little on the low side, because, like I said, he's a player that Man United would be okay keeping. But you don't expect so much far away from that. I honestly expect Fulham to stand firm and say we are paying less than 30 for Scott, or else we are waiting, because probably his value, even if Man United triggered a contract extension, which I believe is in his contract, I still don't think he would raise in value that much. So it's quite interesting what the thought process of Man United is. But let's wait and see. Of course, this have been told by, of course, close people. But I think it's an open secret now. It's an open secret, really, that this bid is going to be rejected, given that evaluation of the player and how important he is to the boss. But for Scott leaving, I'm sure he's making way for the players who are trying to bring in the Ugates of this world, the Adrian Rabios of this world, and probably another midfielder who could be brought in. Not just the Adrian Rabiot we are looking at getting for free. So that's where we are with Scott. But of course, let's wait and see how Manchester United deal with this status. That the reality is, the point is the whole intention is for Manchester United to raise money and try to sign players in the crucial departments, because I told you we are in sort of a sell to buy situation. We are in a sell to buy situation because of of where, how deep the Glazers had sunk this whole club financially. So That's what is happening now. The other, the other, I think I want to talk about is a report I've seen somewhere that apparently Erik ten Hag is trying to push for Man United signing another striker because Rasmus Højlund is injured. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that's not a report I want to give a lot of attention. At least I've tried to consult my people, and the focus now for Man United is not on signing another striker. They feel Joshua Zirkzee and now Chido Obi Martin are ample strikers for them to take them through the early parts of the season when Rasmus Højlund is not available. I don't even think that budget is there. I think it was a blessing that United could get a free Chido Obi. Perhaps the plan before was to sign another experienced striker. My feeling is not this summer now with Chido Obi in place, whereas he's not experienced at all. I don't think they will be looking, because they would actually be, I think, betraying him on their word. That was never the plan. He was sold the project and told he's going to be the third option of a striker behind Joshua Zirkzee. So I don't think that is bound to happen. Now, neither do my sources think so, unless maybe in another window, but not now. It's not really on top of the priorities for Ineos. Now, Manuel Ugarte. So uh, this boy has arrived in Paris for his medical. It is expected to take place today. That is Joao Neves, and Ugarte's move is about to, I think, be sort of initiated or triggered, if I would say, formally, because whatever has been done so far has been more verbal and a bit in principle, if I would say, but there is no formal agreement between Man United and Paris Saint-Germain over Manuel Ugarte. The whole reason has been Joao Neves. Now, Joao Neves set for his medical today, and Benfica are set to conduct their medical on Renato Sanchez. And of course, after that, the whole process will be done and dusted. And then PSG will invite Manchester United to make a formal offer. So that's what is about to happen next. So that's the whole process with Ugarte. That's what's going on. Now, going back to Scott McTominay, the 20 million pounds that Fulham has placed in is enough to initiate conversations with Man United. So the talks are going to go on. Don't think it's going to be rejected and that's it. The talks are going to go on, because if you value a player at 30 million and the first bid for a potential buyer is 20 million, that's a serious buyer. That's a serious buyer. We call that's what we call them here in Africa. That's a serious buyer, especially if the player has no buyout clause. It will only not make sense if Scott had a buyout clause of, let's say, 50 million, and someone is coming and saying, I'm tabling 20. That's not even enough, unless it was included in the buyout clause that this is your buyout clause, but if someone came with 20, we can listen, and start negotiating. No, for Scott, there is no buyout clause. His valuation is not so far off 20, but it is 20 million is a little on the low side, but enough to trigger talks between the two parties. So we can officially say that formal talks have begun between Manchester United and Fulham over Scott McTominay. Drop down a comment. I want to know what you think about Scott. Do you think we are losing an important impact substitute? Do you think we are losing a player with a big Man United DNA? Do you think this is a mistake? United should not reject the bid, take it and run away with it. Take it when it's still there. I've painted for you a picture of his contract situation and how Fulham might be viewing him. My name is Webb. This is the United Sport. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll be back later, fam.